Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we get you caught up with everything surrounding this football team. As Bleacher Report came out with an article highlighting the top 3 players on the Giants that they could see being traded prior to kickoff of the 2024 NFL season. 2 players I was actually a little bit shocked by. 1, not so much. We'll break that down. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because July is here, and that is when the diehard New York Giants fans stand up. So if you want free, informative, entertaining content every single day, subscribe to the channel. Even when the Knicks are in free agency mode, we're still getting you videos, putting in overtime. Shout out to producer Tex. Hit that sub button, and let's go Big Blue. First player that Bleacher Report mentioned in their trade candidates video for the New York Giants is veteran wide receiver Darius Slayton. This one I thought made a little bit of sense, but to be quite honest with you, I don't see the Giants trading Slayton at this moment. He is a player that they can count on at this point. I think it's 4 out of the last 5 seasons he has led this team in receiving yards, and you finally have a receiving core that you can depend on. Includes Darius Slayton, you just drafted Malik Nabers, expect Wan'Dale Robinson to take a step, and Jalin Hyatt. You could look at the other side of the coin, though, and say, Marshall, we got to prioritize the development of of Hyatt and Robinson. That's why Slayton can't play. For me, you need to play the best players. And Slayton right now, if not the best receiver on the New York Giants, is the second best. And Malik Nabers is right there with him. Slayton has carved out a nice little career for himself. I understand why Bleacher Report named him in this trade. He's on a contract year. He was holding out for a little bit, and he wanted new money, and he ended up getting a little bit more guaranteed dollars on that deal, but a solid player. 700 yards in the last 2 seasons, 700-plus yards in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And last year he started to really get going once the offense settled in. Caught an 80-yard touchdown and a 70-yard TD from who did he? Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was the QB. Long day, brain fart. Give me a break, all right? You look at the Giants wide receiver depth chart, though, and I want all 4 of these players to be on the team. Nabers, Slayton, Hyatt, and Robinson. I get why Slayton's mentioned. He may not return next year. Maybe you try to cash in and get a pick, but I just don't really see it. You already added some incentives to his deal. Slayton said, quote, we adjusted my contract this year a little bit, just tried to make it a little bit more lucrative. Business is business, and I'm here. He likes being a Giant. He loves Daniel Jones. I'm sure he wants to stay. I'm not sure what you can get back in a trade for him, but at this point, I'd rather him be on this roster than not. From wide receiver to pass rusher, Azeez Ojulari, the player entering his 4th season at Georgia, formerly a 2nd-round pick. This one made some sense to me, but at the end of the day, like Slayton, I think he's a productive player. Injuries have gotten in the way, but I think when you pair the fact of he's going to be able to stay a little bit more fresh this year with Burns and Thibodeau being those guys off the edge, maybe a supplementary pass rush role, a guy where he's in the rotation, can keep the tread on his tires, keep him a little bit more healthy, and keep him productive. Because when you look at what he's done over 35 games in his NFL career, he's been solid. When he plays, he creates pressure. I think he's actually one of the more refined pass rushers on this team when it comes to technique and his ability to get off blocks and make plays in the backfield. That's why he was a 2nd-round pick out of Georgia. I mean, in 35 games played, the guy has 86 pressures, 27 QB hits, 16 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and nearly 80 tackles. He's almost getting you a sack in every other game that he plays. It's the availability that's a question mark for Ojulari, and sometimes the best ability is availability, and you need him out there. But I want to see this D-line fully together, fully healthy and all playing. I want to see a NASCAR package of Dexter Lawrence in the middle with Thibodeau, Burns, and Ojulari bouncing around and being creative pass rushers. I really think that Burns, Thibodeau, and Ojulari could be a trio of pass rushers that create big-time results and keep each other fresh. You don't want to run Burns into the ground. You don't want to run Thibodeau into the ground. And we know Ojulari has had the injury bug following him and his career since being drafted in that 2nd round. So lighten their workload a little bit, keep the energy high, keep them fresh, let them pin their ears back, and let's see if they can make some plays in the backfield. I have high expectations for this D-line depth chart. They need to be the head of the snake for this team. If the Giants are going to be successful, it's because Lawrence, Thibodeau, Burns, and Ojulari had major seasons. From D-line to defensive back, Aaron Robinson, the 25-year-old corner, who, like Ojulari, has had his career fallen off the rails because of injuries. He did not play in the 2023 season. He is someone that had really only has limited action under his belt. He's played in 11 games in his career. He was a mid-round pick coming out of UCF. I actually thought he played pretty solid in his rookie year, but ever since then, he just hasn't been able to be on the football field. And I saw a report earlier this offseason that says he is still working on the side with trainers trying to get back 100% healthy. And my question to Bleacher Report is this. If he couldn't play in 2023, he missed most of 2022, and he's still not healthy, what NFL team out there is giving up any sort of draft compensation or a player for him? Look, not the worst player in the world at 32 tackles, 4 pass breakups in his career, has not recorded an interception, but he's been targeted 36 times, and he's given up 21 completions. He's allowing a completion percentage of north of 50. You want that number to be lower than that. Not the worst number in the world. And where the Giants sit right now on this cornerback depth chart, you may need him to play. But he can only play if he's healthy, and he hasn't been able to do so. I'm kind of worried about the Giants' cornerback depth chart at this point. I've got faith in Deonte Banks to take a step in year 2 when it comes to Cordell Flott, Nick McLeod, Trey Hawkins, David Long Jr., the rookie Andrew Phillips, Thomas Oliver, Darnay Holmes, Hayes, and Herndon, who you just signed. There's just not a lot of talent, top-end NFL talent in this room. I think Banks can be a CB1, but he's got to take major steps from what he put on tape in his rookie year. He was a rookie, had some highs, had some lows. You expect that. You need him, though, to lock down one side of the field. Could it potentially be Flott on the other side? I don't know. I don't know what you get back in a trade for Robinson. So if I had to say, he's probably more likely cut than traded. And once the NFL team hears that you're more likely to be cut than traded, they're not going to give up any assets for you. My question to the real ones watching is this. Who is most likely to be traded? Is it Darius Slayton, the receiver? Azeez Ojulari, the young pass rusher, who I am not yet done with. I think he's still got something to give to this team in this game. Or is it Aaron Robinson? Most likely to be traded, I probably think it's Darius Slayton. Ojulari next. I don't think anyone's trading for Robinson. So I would type DS. I'd keep both these guys. Robinson, he's not a part of this team after the cut down dates. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I want to give a major shout out to everybody that's supporting this channel. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. So please, please, please hit that sub button. If you want to continue the conversation, you can hit me up on Twitter. I know it was a late upload today. I've been live on our Knicks channel trying to get nonstop NBA free agency coverage. So if you're a Knicks fan, check us out, Knicks Now by Chat Sports. But if you're a Giants fan, you're in the right place. Hit that sub button. Give me a follow over on social media.